And welcome to the user forum. This is a user forum for the users of the computational facility. My name is Constantia Alexandrou for those who don't know me. And I would like to start this mainly discussion session. But before we do so, I would like to give you a very short overview on the infrastructure, the training and user support for those who don't know, and then we will open the discussion. I would appreciate, a frank discussion about your experience on using our infrastructure and what more you would like to see. What your wishes are, etc., experiences and so forth. So the infrastructure that we are building and the knowledge environment is being done under the National Competence Center. This is giving us the resources for events like the ones we are holding today. Very importantly, it's giving us access to infrastructure which are much larger as compared to what we have locally. So I would like to emphasize this because one of our missions as an HPC competence center is to really prepare the users so they can scale up from our local infrastructure, which is going to be small on the scale of the European, to the bigger ones, which will host machines, which will be the biggest in the world. So this is the motivation why we're holding these training events and the information day like today. Because we would like to see scientific excellence in all the computational science and engineering domains pursued by local researchers, innovation. This concerns both academic users, but also industrial users. And then one of the other pillars of EuroCC and the Competence Center is to improve government efficiency. And as you probably know, the government has very high in the agenda the digital transformation. And this is one of the pillars we're going to be coupling with the government. And of course, and very importantly, raise awareness in society in general about the usefulness of HPC, because as you know, this is paid by taxpayers' money. So it is important to have their support. Okay, on the map, I'm showing you the 33 countries that are having centers like ours, and they are being funded by the EuroCC project under the EuroHPC joint undertaking, which is the umbrella for all these developments and all these projects. Okay, now let me come to the actual infrastructure that we have locally. We have a production machine. The name is, I will say a few words later on. We have storage. We will be pursuing an industry-specific machine. And this will be for the users coming from industry, from SMEs and other companies. We have educational machines, and we have also dedicated machines hosted at the Cyprus Institute. Okay, so let me start with the production machine. It is called Cyclone. It's shown in the picture here. It is a hybrid system, so it has a partition that is CPUs only, and a partition which is GPUs. It has a peak performance of 0.6 petaflops. This is to be compared on the European scale, where currently we have machines on the scale of tens of petaflops, and the machines that are going to be funded by EuroHPC will be in the hundreds of petaflops. So this gives you the scale of the systems that we will have access. But this is our local machine. It has cutting edge architecture. Nevertheless, it has the latest GPU processors. So the idea is we use the machine for local projects. We train the users, and then they can scale up to European machines. This is a competitive process. Probably Stelios explained this to you. It is peer review because we want the utilization of these machines to go for excellent science and innovation. So there is a peer review process to ensure that. So access to the production machine is only done through peer review mostly. There is preparatory access to prepare the users so that they can put a proposal for applications. We can discuss further, if you like, the characteristics of the system, but I think that's enough for this talk. Now, the access to resources, the people who were listening to Stelios, he explained that pretty well. I will be giving just an overview for those who didn't attend Stelios' lecture. As I said, there is preparatory access for a limited resources of computed time. This is very simple to apply for. The technical people can help you get these accounts. And this is meant for checking your code, your scaling performance, developing codes, so that you're ready when a production call opens, you can apply for more resources. Now, production access, as I said, are rewarded based on scientific excellence. So for these, we have calls twice a year. We just had one that finished last month, I believe. The projects are being evaluated. So this happens twice a year, as I said, so you can access more resources through these open access calls. I list the link here where you can apply, where you can find how to apply for these more resources. We also have storage resources, both on our local systems, but also by our European projects. So we can extend the services we can allocate to users as well as the storage. So please contact us if you are interested to get storage for your data. We also provide, all this is free of charge, but this has to be research and publicly making available your results. However, we also offer compute and storage as a service for those who want to carry out research or innovation, which they don't want to make public. And we give competitive rates for compute cycles and storage. So please contact us if you want more information on these services that we are providing. Okay, training and user support. Having hardware alone is not enough for HPC. HPC evolves very fast. The technologies are changing from year to year, and therefore we have to have in Cyprus highly specialized personnel that can provide training and advanced user support. And this is why the European Commission decided that each country has to have a competence center, its own competence center, because training and user support are essential if we are going to be able to compete with the rest of Europe for European resources. So we have intermediate level user support. This is done by the technical staff at the HPC facility. But we also now have, through EuroCC, high-level support through highly experts that can sit with the users, map their needs, and help them with software development. This takes time, and we cannot serve all the communities at this point in time because we will need more personnel, as you know, to offer advanced user support. You have to know the area of research. But this is what we are starting to put together, and team of experts that can help user groups to develop their codes, whether to port them to GPUs, for example, which is the prevailing computer architecture at the moment, or help them to find bottlenecks and sit with them and perform what we call co-development projects. So co-development projects are projects that are defined by external groups, and they devote their personnel, and we devote some of our personnel in order to co-develop them together. So this applies for industry and government groups. It applies for research and academic groups. And these members of what we call high-level support team will interact with these people and understand what they need to do and help them utilize computational capabilities that we have locally, but also, as I said, at the European level. So please contact, I give here the contacts for each group. So if you have questions or if you want to investigate more of what we offer, please contact us at these two emails that we provide here. Right. So we have a series of training events within EuroCC. I'm listing them here. I don't expect you to read all these, but please go on our website and have a look at these events that are occurring because you may be interested to participate. So do visit our website to see an analysis of what's going on. Okay, all training events have been recorded. So in principle, people interested can watch them also after they finished. So that's why I'm also listing events that happened in the past. Okay, so I summarize here the links. I think this presentation can be online and you can visit the links. These are the kind of services. It's a summary of a slide of the services that I just mentioned that we are providing. So I'm not going to go through them again, but basically is talks like this where you make aware our users and the community of what HPC can do for them, training programs, access to local resources through preparatory access or production access, consultancy in academic group and industry groups and government, co-development projects, and of course the final is advanced user support, where we provide personnel to scale to machines that we don't have locally that are accessible through a peer review on the European level. And this all aims to enhance, of course, competitiveness in research and innovation and make us successful in accessing European resources. This is very important if we want to be competitive on the European level. Okay, these are the key people that are involved in this, and we have more people, but these are the people who are leading the activities. And Jacob Fingerat leads the academic user support. Kyriakos Hatzigennakou leads the industrial and government user support. And Christos Christodoulou interfaces us with the industry world in Cyprus. So as I said, do visit our website where you will find more information on what's going on. Right, this is all from me. Thank you very much. And now I would like to open the floor for discussion. So I will invite everybody to describe their experiences, say what more they would like to see happening. We will try to engage with all of you in order to make sure that we all can be successful in using HPC for our activities. Stelio, would you like to now take over and coordinate, or how do you want to do it?
Yes. This is basically... Sorry?
I stopped sharing, I said, so you can...
Okay. So yeah, the user forum is the users' platform to let us know what they want from the National Competence Center. So we need your input for this. So please raise your hands and let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what further things you would like from us. So don't be shy. And please unmute yourselves and let us know. Otherwise, I will have to select.
If I may, Stelio, if I were a user of a national HPC center, my first question would be, what are the future plans? What are the future architectures? Where are we going? How is the increase of resources? This would be the first question that, or how can I get access to European infrastructure? I don't know if this helps to open the discussion, but these are the kind of questions I guess a user could be asking.
Hello, this is Mario. Can you hear me? So is it a process that I have to raise my hand, or?
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you for all the effort, and the seminars are also great. Just one thing that came up out of my head, like the first thing is like what I would like to see on Cyclone is like to have short queues, or is that possible, or it's
you mean how short?
Like 1 hour like queue where you can just run a small job, so and you don't need to have to wait like forever for like jumping there.
So George, head of HPC, is also online.
HPC systems.
So George, our head of HPC, is also online, and that's a technical question that he can answer better than me. Go ahead, George, if you can.
You both hear and see me?
Yeah, okay. We can.
Apologies for the home environment. Well, the answer is yes. But before I answer, let me put another question to you, or before I answer further. Why would you like that? Because there's reasons behind that, and there may be more than one way to address what you're asking.
So for example, I have one script that can run in parallel, and it's doing a post-processing step. So yeah, it might take like half an hour, but I really need like 40 cores to do that, or like 20 cores. So if I had that facility, I would jump there and just run it. Don't have to wait, take out my data and like proceed. So it's a common practice that people usually ask for, you know, an HPC system to have like a short queue, at least 1 or 2. So you don't really need to wait for some like small jobs that really need to be parallelized.
Okay. Do you have many of these jobs, or is it do you need it for interactive access, or do you need it to really run many small jobs? Because there are ways. So let me try and get to some of the answers here. First, you can use a post-processing node, right? We have a couple of those that can be used for that, but for very light processing. Those are shared. They're not managed by a queue. So you'll be bumping into other users. But if you keep the usage light, it has
no, I'm not talking about, you know, this kind of like post-processing.
So
like
would you like interactive access, or would you like to submit things to?
And George, maybe I should say something here. You know, production machines are for large projects, right? So, you know, they are not meant for using, you know, for very small periods of time, because if you have a big project that occupies the machine for 12 hours, say, then you cannot just take one node away, right? So
that's why I'm saying it's a short queue, which like takes, so
yeah,
the time limit is 1 hour.
You know, I mean, George has to optimize this, because it's a user that wants to use 12 hours cannot wait forever either. So if you have many of users like you that occupy the machine for very short period of time, a big user, and correct me, George, if I'm wrong, will never be able to access the machine.
Sorry, I think you didn't get my point. So I'm talking like if your system has like 18 nodes, you can just put one of those as a short node. So someone can
Forever.
for small jobs, or I don't know, maybe forever, or, you know, there are ways to optimize that I'm not really aware of.
Yeah, you have to optimize. It's an optimization problem. It's
But
an
if you just put just one of those there, I think you make the life easier. I don't know what the other users are saying about this, but if they don't really need it, so yeah, I mean, it's fine. But yeah, you can run.
You are not the only user, right?
Sorry?
You are not the only user who is asking for something like this. And we have to seriously consider it, of course. If we cannot, let's say, accommodate this request on maybe even another machine, right? So we don't have, for example, if you need some, you know, quick processing, maybe that requires a GPU, putting a whole node with 4 GPUs that costs maybe 50 to 60,000 euro to run a small script for an hour even. It's not really cost effective. On the other hand, I see where you are coming from. I see that there are many needs also for, you know, trying out your code for a little bit for development.
I mean, for development. I mean,
this is not people's workstation, right? This is a production machine to be used for larger computation, not to be used as a development workstation, but still you need to be able to test things on the machine. So we are very open, of course, to actually looking at that.
I think from any point of view, you can find examples where someone will need, like, even if you do large production, after you generate the data, you might need to post-process them. So, I mean, I think there is no argument counteracting why not having a short queue, at least one, because there are always counter arguments. We'll make
yes, of course. Actually, what I am trying to say here is that I agree with you.
Is that because the machine is like limited on nodes and you cannot do that? Yeah, that's a fair point.
It is a fair point.
If someone can use just one node and there is a way to do that, that would be amazing. But if not, it's fine. Or maybe you can put a window like in the day, like from 9 to 12 or from 9 to 5 something, where you can have this short queue, and then this short queue disappears like over the night, where people do not really use it?
Look, Professor Alexandrou will also remember that when we first set up Cytera, our previous system, which was 10 years ago, we had exactly this. We had an interactive queue where people, you would get immediate access almost, right?
We had more nodes, George. We had more nodes. We had more
exactly.
nodes.
That's what I was trying to get to. For example, if we set aside, right now, if you look at the specific example, right? We have 16, for example, if we're looking at GPU nodes, we have 16 of those, each with 4 GPUs. Many of the jobs, right, that are optimized, for example, 4-node jobs, right, or 8-node sometimes, but it's by taking basically one, like Professor Alexandrou said before, a lot of the larger jobs will be waiting in queue with all of the other resources unused until that last one node becomes available. And it does become an issue when you have a small number of nodes. We have opted to go for really powerful GPU nodes, right? So because we want to get the most out of the GPUs and the the best computation possible, and by trying to you have to optimize, especially like Professor Alexandrou said, with the resources that you have. But let me take that into let us at the Cyprus Institute take that into consideration and see.
It's not something.
No, that's very welcome. We thank you for that. And I think we should discuss it if we can find a solution and an optimal solution. I think that's why we're having these meetings.
Mm-hmm. And thank you very much. I think
GPUs?
for me, it's not the thing, but yeah, it was a question that I had in my head, and like, I mean, sometimes I jump to other systems and I try to transfer files for this like kind of small post-processing. So I think I'm okay, but yeah, I think in the future, maybe if I get the production, allocation, yes, maybe that would be useful. I don't know.
Okay, I think we should note this, George, and discuss it internally. Thank you very much, Maria.
Just one last question. Would you require a GPUs on the post-processing node, let's say, or the
that's another thing. So the code I'm using currently is like mostly designed for CPUs, but they like, I think as every code now is trying to jam in GPUs. So they also the developers of like Quantum Espresso, they are trying to make the software to run like with GPUs. So if I remember well, I asked like 2 months ago or something for a Fortran G compiler or something. I don't remember what was the exact name.
Yes.
And I think that you need to have the license, and the institute didn't have the license. But it's okay. It's another issue. I can like raise my request again.
Please raise it again, because that's highly unlikely.
I'll try to find the email. It's fine. So yeah, I would like to have a CPU for me, but I don't know what the other users want.
Maria, the machines that are being developed in Europe now, the big ones, are going to be all accelerator based, mostly. So that's why everybody is trying to update their codes. And that's why we want to train our users to be able to use accelerators.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Of course, we are talking about post-processing now, right? So, I mean, your heavy computation, you should definitely be looking at the GPUs, right? But if you post-processing R script or whatever,
yeah, you're right. But just to say, for me, now I'm talking generally for what my code does. Okay, So what Quantum Espresso does, you can run a small calculation in the unit cell to get the charge density. So that would take like half an hour, like on 20 cores. And then you can just submit a big job, a larger job, that depends on this charge density. And then you can leave it there and go like to sleep or go running. And when you come back, you see, amazing, like my big job start running. That is based on this small charge density that took half an hour to be calculated on that small job, like small node. But yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I really know, I really see other people that they run all the time, like 12 nodes, so they don't really need this short queue. So I think it's, it depends on the users. If they vote yes, you go for it. If no, don't do it.
Okay, so maybe other people have opinions here.
Maybe it's me only using like the machine or something.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, we want to hear all opinions. So what are the other users? I mean, nobody wants to say anything? I thought after Mario's, people would get encouraged.
Yeah, this is what I thought as well.
So if you had to ask for one thing, what would that be?
For me.
Not you, you asked already.
Okay, sorry.
I'm only joking, right? If you have other questions, of course you can bring those up.
Yeah, but I don't wanna like be the only one.
Did we just have new people joining?
No,
Okay.
but there are a few people that I am not aware of. So it might be a good idea to ask them who they are. So I see a Nikos Himarios. If you can please introduce yourself to us and let us know your status with regards to using our systems and our infrastructure. Nikos Himarios.
By the way, Nikos is an existing user on the system, right?
Oh, okay. Preparatory, I guess, yes.
Yes, we only have preparatory now.
Yes, true. So another person I see who may also be preparatory is Fodis Beriftis. If you could introduce yourself to us.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, I can hear you, yes.
I'm a PhD student from the University of Patras, Material of Science Department, Science Materials. I haven't actually used your system before, but I'm looking to, and this is why I joined this meeting. I'm trying to find out and learn about this system and your infrastructure and how I can use them in our simulation. We mostly run molecular simulations, Monte Carlo and MD for material. And yes.
Okay, so at the moment you can only access Cyclone through preparatory access. At the moment for production access is only open to principal investigators from Cyprus, but you can collaborate with somebody from Cyprus to get access on the system in the next call. The next call actually, it may be open to others as well. We're not sure about that, but at the moment it's only for principal investigators from Cyprus who you can collaborate with.
Okay, so
if I may add to this, Stelio, I mean, this is not our policy. This is a general policy for national centers, they open usually their machines when the principal investigator is a person in their own institution. So this is not something that we discovered, just to clarify this. So we welcome collaborations. So people from anywhere in the world can collaborate with people from Cyprus, but the principal investigator, as you said, has to be at the Cypriot institution. This is unlike, of course, European resources, resources that are developed by Euro HPC. Those are open to anybody that participates, also with being a PI, okay? So just to clarify this aspect for this.
So we will have to collaborate with the professor from Cyprus or from any.
So you can collaborate with anybody, not you can collaborate with anybody that is at a Cypriot institution. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't see anyone else from outside the institute. So maybe our local users can provide us with any input that they may have on the system.
I've got another question, if it's...
Go ahead, Maria, yes.
So, I don't know, how important is it, like, to, you know, when you use Cyclone and then you want to publish, I didn't quite understand how important it is for, you know, Cyclone to be cited, like acknowledged actually in a publication. Is it the purpose, or is it's a side thing?
Well, we would like you to acknowledge Cyclone, because this is our way of getting credit for the system. And this is the way that we can keep financing this, because if we don't show that our users produce excellent results, which means publishable results, then this is a problem for us. Because we have to make a report of what this machine is used for, because you know, somebody has to pay for it.
So it's super important.
So it's very, very important, and we'll appreciate it if you do it, that you acknowledge us and you send us this information. All computational centers ask that. So I think stages would be important, and I think we are doing it every year, to ask our users to give us this information, because this is absolutely important.
Okay, so I think it would be nice to have somewhere, I don't, maybe you already have it, you know, a sentence where how to acknowledge that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We should put it in. I agree fully with you. All centers do this. They have a pretty fine sentence where they ask their users to acknowledge any results produced using the infrastructure. So I think we should also do it. And George, don't we have such a sentence somewhere?
Yes, we do, but we were waiting for the new production cycle to start to make sure we have a new one. The one we had was citing our previous system, which was procured through a different way. So it also had some requirements on how you cited it to the way it was financed. This one is going to be slightly different, and we'll make sure that all, basically whenever you get access, even if it's preparatory access, at the end of that, you provide a short report of what you did. This is a lot more important, of course, in production requests, in which case, when you receive, hopefully you will, your allocation, you will also get instructions on how to cite the system.
Yeah, we do have something already in the guideline for applicants, but that is for production access. But yeah, we should finalize this and inform the users on when their accounts are created.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to raise this to understand that, you know, the goal is at the end of the day to have Cyclone on a publication actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I'm in the acknowledgement
Thank you very
section.
much. Yes.
I'm in the acknowledgement section of a paper I'm writing and I'm going to submit soon. So yeah, I would like to have that.
Thank you very much, Maria. That's very important indeed.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's not many other people that are new users or external people online. So I don't know if our local users from CYI, there's a few of them, have any thing to bring up.
So all the internal users are satisfied?
It seems so. I'm going to pick on someone. Nikos Barras. If you can tell us if your experience with accessing the system has been okay because you came and you didn't have experience beforehand. Are you okay with it now?
Yes, good afternoon. Yes, I think it's fine. And actually, about the queuing system, I rarely have problems. Usually, I get access almost directly, either on the GPU partition or on the CPU.
Yeah, yes, expect that to change a little bit.
Okay.
When we go to production, finally, George, finally, I got to production.
So yeah, that's good to hear. We are not putting people on the spot here. Feel free to any kind of criticism, right? It's not criticism. Whatever you can improve will also make us better. So don't be, don't be shy. If you want to change something, I mean, we'll let you know if it's possible or not, right? Or if you feel that you need help in certain aspects and you're not getting it, or if you need whatever, just feel free to. This is how you help us improve, right? So if we don't get feedback, we can't improve.
Actually, I more often use the GPU partition. So there, even if I ask for 8 nodes, for example, it is very, very fast to allocate. Okay, some technical issues that the users ask us, that the users that we support, they ask us, is to connect somehow the interface, to create an interface, for example, with Visual Studio Code, to be able to run on Cyclone, but using Visual Studio Code or any other interpreter for machine learning applications. That would be very, very useful for the users because they have Google Colab and Kaggle, these platforms that are very easy to access them. Of course, they don't have the power of Cyclone, but okay, that would be nice if we could.
Yes, can I say that I'm also using Visual Studio Code to connect to Cyclone, and I find it very, very helpful. I mean, being a Windows user and being able to navigate through the file system and do SSH via Visual Studio Code is very helpful, especially with big scripts and things like that. But yeah, it would be nice if it. I mean, I don't know what other people think, but I don't know. I think Visual Studio Code is a very good option to move forwards with. I mean, one thing I would like to have I'm in touch with the HPC team, which by the way gives excellent support, is for an X server to be able to visualize stuff through an SSH connection. I know it's not I mean, in my case, it would take ages to download the files and then visualize them on my local machine. But yeah, so the HPC team is in touch with me, but it might be useful for other users to listen about the process.
Yeah, but George, this has to be separate, right, from the production system, right?
Yes. Otherwise,
I mean, this cannot be part of the production system.
Yes, I meant the preparatory.
No, this has to be another. You cannot just use the production system for that. I think, George, or
it's a recurring theme. I mean, we had three people speak out, and and basically all three of them are asking some sort of interactive access, right?
Yeah, but this has to be a separate thing, which can access the same file system.
Yes. Look, we have done similar things in the past, but let me take a step back here. For example, Panayota, I am not a Windows user, and I use VS Code a lot to edit files, edit the source code on the system, on the target system directly. I don't have to go back and forth. This is a more modern way of development. I agree with you fully, it's excellent. But in terms of actually running things on Cyclone, when we say running things on Cyclone, again, Cyclone is a production machine where you submit things to the queue to run. If you're connecting to Cyclone, you're basically connecting, when you SSH into the machine, you're basically connecting to the head node, which is one node, basically one server to which everybody connects and from where they can submit their jobs. It's not a common workstation for everybody. It's there for people to be able to compile their code as a final step, right? And to submit their jobs. Not necessarily, it's not there to be used even for quick computation. It's not, right? And what we have had to do in the past is actually warn people not to do that. And when people continue to have to take, to be more persuasive when we're asking them not to run on the head node, right? So unfortunately, right now, Cyclone is not the system for that. And we should be looking at ways to accommodate that, and through basically another system, right? Otherwise, especially if we're talking about GPU resources, we cannot have whole GPU servers that cost a lot of money. I mean, those GPUs are 10,000 euro each, right? Not the node, the GPU. So having those just available for anyone to connect at any time, that's not very cost effective, right? But all of your points are taken, and we'll discuss with Professor Alexandrou, whoever else is interested, to figure out ways to actually address this. We recognize how important this is.
One thing though that I know from a user, is that they're worried that when production access comes through and the projects start using the system, they won't have the ability they have now in preparatory access mode to get a number of nodes that they might need for the development or for the testing or whatever. And yes, we've left some time for preparatory access, but when a user starts, when production access projects start using it, their capabilities will be diminished.
Yeah, but this Stelio, this is inevitable because this is
I
a
know.
production machine. This is a production machine. It's not a machine to be used like a workstation.
I know, it's just something that a user brought up with me in a few.
Right, right. I mean, it's. I mean, these machines are meant for the big projects so that you cannot solve on a workstation.
Whatever Professor Alexandrou said, you know, that's it. That's it, right? That's what we are faced with. But we also realize that we have to, since we're trying to help people along, figure out a way to make some kind of resource available, not from Cyclone, right? Some kind of development resources where
a different machine, yeah.
For example, people cannot be expected to have a V100 in their workstation, right? A GPU of that expense in their workstations to be able to develop or to optimize for that. Again, Cyclone is not a workstation for development. Okay, you can get preparatory access, but you don't get preparatory access to start development, right? Supposedly. I mean, that's what you're supposed to get, that to scale your code, to prepare your, that's why the name came from, to prepare for a production.
Production code, yes.
So, but it is an open problem. We'll try and figure out something for you guys. We know that this has been an open issue for a while.
Okay, any more questions or comments or suggestions or complaints?
Simone, you are muted, so you want to say something or not?
Simone, if you're talking, we don't hear you. It's time to talk, right? But Simone?
No, he's not there. So it seems that people have no other things to bring up.
Do you hear me now?
Yes,
okay.
we can. Go ahead, Simone.
Okay, thank you. No, sorry. So on this line that we were discussing before, something that I asked also for in the past was the possibility of having a virtual machine somewhere with GPUs, because the problem that I was running into is that we have some codes that we are developing for which we want to run some unit testing. So this code is on GitHub and I'm pushing changes, and then I should compile it and run it on GPU. But yeah, there is no such a service on GitHub for free or anywhere else. So the idea would be to run these workflows on our systems for testing the code that we've changed. Though doing it in this way would require to give access, for instance, to my account to GitHub, which is not a suggested procedure. So it would be nice if there is the possibility to have access to the system with a kind of virtual machine in a separated from the, yeah, in a controlled environment, let's say.
Would that, can I take this?
Sure, go ahead, George.
It's for you. It's, I don't think
for
it's
you, yes.
Do you require, first of all, do you require access to the shared file system?
No. That's one of the points. I just require to compile the code and run some tests.
Because that's the only real showstopper, right? We cannot have virtual machines accessing the shared file system because of severe user privileges.
Exactly, but that's exactly what the point, that I want a controlled environment that where I can give, for instance, to GitHub access to, and I don't worry that there are consequences.
Now, in terms of having GPUs available on a virtual machine, we might be able to have something in the next couple of months. Let me put it like that. I cannot guarantee it, but it's quite likely that we will have it. It will not be like a V100, right? We're looking at, you know, a consumer style GPU, like cheap ones, but it will be there. Would that work for you?
Somehow, yes, does not allow for a parallel testing, and but yeah, will be a step forward, because
to run some computation, even a small one, or is it there just for compilation?
Both compilation, unit testing at the small level, but also maybe in this unit testing, I would also like to test the parallel case, so not just a single GPU run, let's say. So if
we might have to look at something where you actually have to submit a job there. If you really need a V100,
it doesn't have to be with 100. It can be also, like you said, an external node, but maybe with more than one GPU in it. Or yes, or the option to submit a job. I don't have problems with that. I mean, I could do it also on Cyclone, and I don't have issues to wait for it. The only issue is that one to have the possibility of submitting a protected job that does not have access to the file system, and it is in a kind of virtual machine. So having kind of virtual machine on Cyclone, for instance.
yeah, you probably don't want to, you know, I know we discussed this already.
Yeah.
And because, you know, other people might have access to that code on GitHub, right? Even, or by pulling code and running it automatically on your system, you definitely don't want to do that in a shared environment.
Exactly, that's my point, yes.
Okay, let's figure out a way to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Right, let's figure out a way. On this issue, we have already a node that we got, but we don't have GPUs for it yet. So that's, we might be able to provide virtual machines with a GPU in there.
Yeah,
if multiple, right?
Okay, if we start with one, it's very fine already. It's not a problem. It just no, it's not perfect, but it's already it's already a lot.
Okay, cool. Let's try and do something with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more wishes from George? If not, Stelio, I guess we can finish here, right?
Yes, we can. Okay. So
I don't know. I don't want to stop somebody from.
It doesn't seem like there's any other users or any points. This is your last chance, everyone, to bring up your points until the next user forum, when that will be. We need to do another one maybe in 6 months or so. A small session like this, in case we have new users, and once the new system, well, the production access, people get access, start using the system, and the queues will no longer be as free as they are now. Let's see what issues come up.
People, Stelio.
Yeah, and we'll have more people to give us their input. So thank you everyone for attending the user forum. The industry week continues with the next few days. Tomorrow is the entrepreneurs and industrial gathering. It begins at 10 a.m. with the gathering. And we also have our seminars tomorrow by speakers from PRACE and NCSA in the US, where our 3 speakers will be talking about how their respective projects and organizations help companies, SMEs to use their resources and to use HPC, AI, data analytics in the work processes. So the speakers are very good, and they'll let us know how they do things in Europe and the US. So hope to see you tomorrow there, and in the rest of the sessions of the Industry Week. And for now, bye everyone.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk again.
Bye bye all.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye all.